because the Montgomery Town Crier has a most important message to deliver on the whys and the wherefores of sexual health. Something important to us all and a subject close to my heart. But it really does help when you have a little glass of something in your hand to help the message come over. But I'm going to put this down now. So my message in relation to an ode to sexual health. Sexual health doesn't depend on wealth. It's what and why you decide to do. If you choose protection, you will be saved from sexually transmitted infections, plus a lifestyle that's safe and enjoyable for you. 50 Shades of Grey, for some, have shown the way to experiment and travel to some fantasies new. But a loving and caring relationship is the way for most folk, I know. Just get lost in encounters and entwined in emotion with a new experience from a vantage point of view. A furkling fuck or a saucy screw, a sheepy shag may be the route for you. But a bumbling bunk or a longitudinal lay, whatever you choose, this activity may well make your day. Listen good, you youngsters. Listen good, mum and dad. You can still say no, it won't all turn out bad. Respect for yourselves and for others too gives me some hope for society, plus some sense of decency renewed. But sex has a high profile in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Be selective, be pensive. Don't choose carnal knowledge with speed. Have fun, enjoy. These true feelings are rare. When you reach that height of pleasure, little else will ever compare. Over hills, over valleys, over mountains, over dales, God save the Queen and bless the Prince of Wales. I thank you. Welcome now to Sue's sitting room, a session with Susie. This is an important message that I want to explain what was drawn me to actually be an educationist in sexual health. Very importantly, when I was a young person, my mum and dad were fairly open, but not when it came to the actual boyfriend-girlfriend deal. We didn't get a lot of frank conversations, but they were very open. We knew the name of our parts and things. But as I got older and I was very interested in human anatomy and biology, those are the things that drew me into thinking I wanted to know more about the body. Became a nurse and then a nurse teacher. So very much so my interests were in the medical or health world, and I just somehow fell into the program of sexual health and became a freelance lecturer. And one of the things I wanted to share with you is that to be able to deliver sexual health in the way I do, really talking in the language of young people, it's really getting the message over. It's making it humorous, talking in their language, but also the serious message of how important it is to have safe sex, to enjoy sex. It's a wonderful thing when it's done properly, but also to be kept safe, to avoid pregnancy, unwanted and badly timed pregnancy, and most awful is the infections that can be transmitted. I've worked in clinics in Hyde Park Corner, in the clinics across London when I was nurse training. I've done special clinics in Africa. I've worked in a clinic in America, and I worked with HIV and AIDS in Romania. So very, very wide experience across the world. I've been really fortunate to be able to share my experiences of sexual health in all those nations. But Britain have nearly got it right, except the schools are driving me mad, particularly in this area, because they're not seeing how important it is to be frank with the youngsters and give them the right message. I've spoken to my education authority and I've said it's no good putting a video in and putting this teacher to sit at the back of the classroom and be highly embarrassed at the film of the birth of a baby. That's not sexual health. That's not proper education. That's the end product and just instilling fear into them. The way I deliver it is certainly carrying around with me a box of these. Not a packet of 3, but a box of 103. And that is really the tool of the trade in instilling in young people. It's not an embarrassment, but it's a necessity to carry these with you. If you're going to have a sexual encounter and you don't know the history of the person, you really need to be taking much, much more care of yourself. When I've actually delivered sexual health in some of the vulnerable groups of young people, some of the things that come through are really, really shocking and quite upsetting. But I've actually found that having delivered it in a way that they can really relate to you and relate to the message, I feel that we are getting somewhere. I've dealt with a lot of young people with HIV from Romania. Now, they've been over to Britain, they stayed with me, and they are very okay about being HIV positive. No fault of their own, poor infection control, a really rank blood transfusion they received as an infant, ended up delivering the virus into their system. But they more are troubled by the fact that they were abandoned by their mothers in Romania, not the fact they have HIV. They're really strong educationalists when it comes to the Western world. We should be learning a lot from them. But my message is a sound one. Enjoy your sexual life. It's a fabulous gift we've been given. But we just need to have a safe message, the right message, and some shock therapy. When I've actually gone into classrooms and shown the goriest and awful, grimmest pictures of your nether regions looking not very pretty, that in itself has been a message to die for, a message to really come home true, to make the youngsters believe, to get into the back of a white van in a country lane and have a bit of a furcle when you can't even see their bits with no light on. You don't know what they might have. And it's really important that these young people think about that it's much, much safer to say no and have a bit of body contact, but you haven't got to have pen in your neck. Because that is the message for young people. Don't do it because everybody else is doing it, but think it through and save it for a special, special person. In my role of public speaker, I go around mothers' unions, WI, Round Table, Rotary, but the Women's Institute is hysterical. A good many of them are the White Blue Rinse Brigade and well in their mature years, but to listen to their experiences could make your toes curl and your hair curl, because they're all having an awful lot of sex, but with their said partner that they've been with for 40, 50 years, God bless them. But when I talk to them about safe sex, they're not thinking condoms, they're thinking not to dislocate their hip. Terribly important. Anyway, the message is, salut, narok, Yachida, and good health to all, and may you enjoy good sexual health. Hwyl, all the best.